Hey boos, in this video, I give commentary based on my opinion. Nothing is to be taken as factual. We are just here to have conversation. We don't expose and we don't sip tea on this channel. I'm giving you real talk straight, no chaser. Let's see if you can handle it.
Cause I'm a boss. I haven't done anything for you to be proud of.
Of course you have. You are marrying a man who can support you.
Hi ladies, it's Yoni and I'm back with another video. In today's video, I'm going to be talking about a woman that is currently going viral on TikTok for outing out the company Ebin New York. Now, a lot of you should be familiar with Ebin New York because Ebin New York has grown popular thanks to influencer culture and Black women all over the world. Ebin New York is known for their lace tint, is also known for their Wonder Lace Bond, their curl twist mousse, their edge control, their lace adhesive, and so much more. As of lately, the company is facing scrutiny due to a TikToker by the name of Samaya who used to work for the company, and she exposed them for mistreatment and she exposed so much more. Let's get into it.
Story time of me working for Ebin New York as the only Black person in corporate. Honestly, y'all, it took a lot out of me to even make this video. It's been 3 months since I left the job. They actually fired me. Wrongful termination, but we'll get to that. It has just been a very long journey. Ebin New York is a very popular beauty brand. They are very known for their 24-hour edge controls. I'll put it right here. And they're also very known for their wig sprays. So hairstylists, listen up, because a lot of you, even if you're not a hairstylist, if you're a Black woman, Black people in general, listen up, because I was treated so horribly, guys. Like, I would go to the bathroom every day at work and cry. It was to the point where I just couldn't take it anymore. That's how bad it was. So I initially seen a job posting on LinkedIn for being their content creator, basically like the face of the brand. Just do like a quick couple of videos for them. So the HR lady, the company's very small. If that, like, the company is like 80 people or whatever. So there was only one HR person at the time. And this lady, she reached out to me on LinkedIn and she was like, oh, can you come in for an interview? Like, we would love to talk to you. So I'm like, yeah, sure. So I go in there and she's just like telling me all about the brand. And I realized that she kept saying like, oh, we're trying to make it more diverse in the office. We're trying to make it, she just kept saying that. We're just trying to make it more diverse in the office. So I'm just looking around and I'm like, well, there are a lot of Korean people. How are you guys doing this? Like, what do you mean? There's no Black people at all? So she's showing me like, oh, they have like in-house beauty hairstylers, nail techs, lash techs, whatever, and they test out the products. They're not on a corporate side though. I didn't know this. I'm just thinking like, oh, okay, so I see some Black women in the office, you know, cool. So I'm looking around, it's just nothing but Korean people. That still didn't bother me because I still seen like some Black women in the office. So I'm like, cool, it doesn't matter. So she seen my resume and she was like, how do you feel about actually working full-time as a marketer, social media marketer? And I'm just like, yeah, that's fine. Like, I could come into the office every day and, you know, do marketing. That's what I went to school for, communications and marketing. So I took on a job. And the first day that I went to work, they were just basically showing me how to do stuff, what websites they use and things like that. So I'm already ready to make my first video, post it on TikTok, Instagram, whatever. Wow. I edited this video and I posted it right before I left. And I noticed that it was going viral within 3 hours. Like, as soon as I posted it, it was going up. So I'm like, I'm getting excited because I'm like, oh, this is my first day and I'm already, you know, showing off, like doing my job. And I was looking at it all night. That's how excited I was. I kept scrolling, going on their page and looking at the video like I'm doing my big one. It was around 8 p.m. that I realized that the video was deleted. So I'm like, what's going on? I was reading the comments the whole time, y'all. Everyone was laughing at the video. They were saying whoever's on the marketing team needs a raise. They were saying all these positive things, right? So I go into work the next morning, and as I'm walking to my desk, I have to pass my supervisor's desk, and I have to pass another coworker that thought she was my supervisor. Let's get into that. We could get into that, but I'm gonna just keep going. So I'm going to my desk, and I see that my coworker is showing my supervisor the video that I posted on TikTok from the account or whatever. So I'm like, they're just like literally looking at it or whatever, like reading the comments. And I'm like, hey, good morning. Yeah, why did the video delete? And all I know is that they looked at me and they were just like, there was too many negative comments. So then I go on the account and I, look at the comments. I'm like, there's no negative comments. Someone was saying like, the person that posted it, like the marketing team, the company better be black owned or something like that, because the video was funny. It was about SZA, I think it was. Like, it was about a black person doing a wig. It was some creative thing that I did. It was just all jokes, and it was good for marketing. So I was like, there's no negative comments here. And, I felt some type of way because I'm like, it was my first day. I made a video go viral. Y'all needed help. Y'all needed help going viral and, keep marketing these products and stuff. And I'm over here doing it on the first day, and y'all trying to figure out one little thing. Y'all see one little comment that says something, a little negative to y'all, and y'all want to delete it. That's not how this works. Like, yeah, we got to get some tough skin around here if y'all want to keep going up in this company. So I let that slide. But ever since that day, I realized like everyone was just in competition with me. I don't know if that makes sense, but it was just like they were no longer trying to teach me anything. They were no longer First of all, I realized, let me just backtrack. Ever since that day, they had started speaking Korean the whole time in the office, in the marketing room. Korean. I had no conversation with them. They would speak to me whenever they told me to just do something. They would have meetings in full-blown Korean. Even the CEO would come in and speak in Korean. And nobody thought to even, look and be like, oh, let's just speak in English for now. We do have a black lady here that's just not Korean, and she doesn't know anything that we're saying. So I just started feeling uncomfortable. I'm like, there's no way that, everybody was speaking English in the beginning, the first day that I was there, being very nice. And now all of a sudden, everyone's just speaking Korean the whole time, giggling, looking at me, laughing about things. And I have no idea what any of them are saying. So literally the next week, I came into the office. I go in the bathroom. I come out. My supervisor, my coworkers, no one in a marketing team is in the office. So I'm like, I know for sure the day before, my supervisor was telling me like, oh, we're going to go to New York to set up for this TV show that we're doing or whatever. So I'm like, I know they did not leave me in the office by myself while they're in New York. Like, they went to the New York office. So I contacted my supervisor right away, and he's like, oh, yeah, we did leave you. He didn't really have anything to say. That's the thing that really got to me, is because like he really just was like, oh yeah, we left you. Just do some work, edit some videos or whatever. Like, he didn't have no real reason to be leaving me. Like, he just did not care. So I'm just like, I feel some type of way now, because it's like, y'all speaking Korean, y'all leaving me out of things. What, like, is this a team or not? So once I realized like they're separating me, I have coworkers that's talking to me any kind of way. The supervisor is just letting the coworkers talk to me any kind of way. I guess she thought that she was a supervisor, but we were literally on the same position. The first day, that was the only time she was nice to me. I guess once my video went viral, something switched. She was just like, oh, there's competition. I don't know, but I don't work like that. Like, if we're a team, we are a team. There's no reason for y'all to be like treating me any type of way. I'm new here, number one. I'm still trying to get the feel of things. I guess they felt intimidated. I don't know. But at that point, I just felt like, why am I in this office every day? Y'all are speaking Korean. Y'all don't want to speak to me at all. I'm at the lunch table trying to figure out where I'm going to go sit at, because the Korean culture, like, they all sit together. They talk. sat with them like 1 or 2 days, the first 2 days, and they were just speaking Korean. They did not care. I just felt like that was so rude. So at this point, I'm feeling very uncomfortable about working there, but I'm still just like, I'm very new. Hopefully it'll change. I don't know. Like, I don't know what's going on. So I went to HR and I complained. I know when people say like HR is not on your side, like HR is not your team, they're just here to protect the company. That's 100% true. In this case, I went to the HR lady and I was telling her like, I feel very uncomfortable. There are incidents that's going on and I just feel like something has to be done because this is not the way I know that, a corporate is supposed to be ran. And I'm not supposed to be getting treated like this. I'm a new employee. I'm doing what I'm supposed to do. And I still feel like I'm being left out. Why is that? So she's just like, oh, I understand. Like, I'll speak to the marketing team. I'll speak to your supervisor. I'll try to get them back on track and try to get them, to work with you. When I tell you guys, I worked since August. I was complaining all the way up until January about these things. I even had to take a mental health leave because of this. It was messing with me every single day. The way they treated me, it was like they were micromanaging me a lot. So the Korean culture, like work culture, is very different. I get that. But the way I'm saying they're micromanaging me, every employee at Ebin New York, they have to write down their daily tasks in Asana, right? The daily tasks, you have to put each hour what you're doing. You know what I'm saying? So mine, I had to make sure I put like, I edited 10 videos today. I posted this. I emailed this person. I reached out to influencers. I did this. Like my Asana had a whole book of things. And I would get emails when my coworkers would post on their Asana, like upload their stuff. And you can just literally see they would have like 3 bullet points, quick things like scheduler emails, this, that, like very broad. And I was the one that had to put everything in detail, make sure the links was there, every single thing, guys. I just felt like, what is going on? You know what made it worse? The CEO of the company decided that I need to start having presentations with him, the vice president, HR, and the whole marketing team. And I had to let him know exactly what I was doing. I had to show him every post that I made, everything that I edited, everything, outreach to influencers, every single thing. So at this point, I'm a little frustrated because it's like, now it's new other Koreans coming in doing the same thing, like marketing and things like that in the same marketing room. And no one has had to do this presentation. I even asked people that were there before me, I'm like, have you guys ever had to do this presentation? They're like, no, I don't know why you got to do it. That's a problem. He's basically just telling me like, I don't know why you have to do all this, but that's very insane of you to have to sit there and like literally show them what you're doing when you literally are writing it down just how any other coworker is doing. What really made me feel some type of way is the CEO still didn't care. Like he just had this look on his face, like a disgust look. And I was just like, are you okay? Like, what's going on? He's just like, I just don't see. Like, I just don't get what you do, or I don't get your job. And I was just like, well, didn't you hire me? Like, I'm pretty sure the company, being that he's the CEO, I get that. You guys are probably like, well, he probably didn't hire, he don't know. He goes through every single thing. He's there. Like, he's on your back while you work. He knew that I was going to get hired for the position, what I do, and everything like that. So for you to be talking to me saying, like, I just don't see what you do, and I don't get your job, and are you even happy here? Because if you're not happy here, then you can get out. He told me that. At this point, I just felt like, I sat there and asked him, I said, are you talking about the HR complaints that I've made about me feeling uncomfortable in the marketing room? And right then and there, HR, everyone is in the room. HR is just like, no, he's not talking about that. No, he's not talking about that. So I just didn't know what to do at that point. Cause it's like, I don't want to quit. I still need a job. But at this point, it's like, they don't want me here. They want me to quit. So what do I do? To make things like a little bit more clear for you guys, Ebin New York had just took ownership of a Black-owned company. They were the first ones to do Jamaican black castor oil, and they have hair products, all that good stuff. I don't really want to talk about the brand that they just, kind of push me onto, because I was complaining so much to HR about me not feeling included with working under Ebin New York specifically. But basically, they pushed me onto another brand that they took ownership of, and I did the social media for that specific brand. I was still in the same office with all the Koreans, in the marketing room, in that same room, but now I just don't have a team. They told me that I'll have a new supervisor. The supervisor had no experience in marketing. He doesn't know nothing that I'm doing at all. He thinks that I'm just sitting there on my phone all day, because he doesn't realize that I use my phone to edit videos, and I use my iPad to edit all these videos and do all the graphics and things. And he's just sitting there trying to go back into CEO and the vice president and tell them, oh, she doesn't do anything, or like she just does the bare minimum. Like, it just seemed like they looked for any little thing just to try to get me out of there. He told someone that he was trying to get me fired, if that makes sense. And it got back to me. This same new supervisor, guys, guess what he did? He told me to read over a resume. He literally handed me a paper, and he told me to read the name to see if it was a black name. A black name. What is... So I'm looking at it, I'm like, a black name? What do you mean by that? A black name? And what are you going to do with it? And I was like, no, the last name actually was like, you can tell it was like a Hispanic name. But I was just like, what's your point? And he never said anything. He was like, no, that's a black name. And then he snatched the resume back, and then that was just that. He was very rude, guys. And it was just like, it was unbelievable, the stuff that I was going through. I'm going to give you guys another example. I had to travel to Atlanta for a photo shoot for a new line that we were doing. And this new supervisor, he had to book my hotel and stuff. So I had to travel by myself. Usually, like, I travel with coworkers and stuff. I was the only one that was traveling. I had to meet people that were already in Atlanta and do everything else. So I'm just fine with that. It is what it is. So I get to Atlanta. I have the Uber take me to the address of the hotel. Guys, when I tell y'all, this looked like a motel. It was bugs in the room. It was stuff all in the bed. It wasn't a hotel. I'll give you that. Like, it wasn't like just one tall building, nothing like that. It was like literally little rooms, each everywhere. So at this point, I was traveling all day. It was like 6, 7 p.m. I'm trying to walk. It was like later than that, actually, because it was like getting dark. So they had me all the way in the back. So I'm already feeling uneasy. I'm by myself out in Atlanta, and this is where y'all put me in. Y'all have all this money and y'all want to put me in a hotel like this? Y'all playing in my face. I was cool with 2 other workers that's in a different department. So I'm contacting them. I'm like, when y'all have to travel with, Ebin, do you guys get treated like this, or are you guys in a nicer hotel? Everyone's just shocked, completely shocked. They're like, I've never been in a hotel like that. I don't know where they have you, but you need to leave. And at that point, I'm just like, I definitely need to leave. I don't feel safe here. The part that they had me in was all the way in the back. It was just a mess. I'm going to insert some pictures in here so y'all can see it as I'm talking. But once I realized I don't feel comfortable staying at this hotel, motel, whatever it was, I called him. And he's like, oh, I don't know what to tell you. I already booked it and there's nothing we could do. Bye. And hung up. I kid you not. That's all he did. While I'm sitting there on the verge of crying, saying, I feel unsafe. The room is dirty. And, it's not really a hotel that I feel comfortable in, anything like that. He just said, I don't know what to tell you. You're going to have to deal with it. Bye. Do you know how crazy I felt for my supervisor to do that, to book something like that, and then just say, I don't know what to tell you, and hang up in my face? At that point, it was just clear as day that they did not care about me at all. They just wanted me to get some work done, and that was it. If I didn't want to quit, they were going to just show me that you need to just quit, because that's it. I have like a whole list of stuff in my iPad that I wrote down each and every day. That's how bad it was, guys. Like, it was always something going on inside this office with me. It was like they were just attacking and attacking. And I had to just go to the bathroom every day and just cry and call my mother or call someone and just tell them what's going on. They couldn't believe I was going through all of that. And just to back it on up really quick, guys, there are 2 people that were working for the brand that they switched me to, if that makes sense. Like, they were on a contract because they still had to show the Koreans how to work, how to work their company, if that makes sense. So I was in close contact with those 2 women, and one of the head of departments of marketing, he actually asked me, was I having a meeting with my grandmothers today? And by grandmothers, he meant those 2 Black women, my grandmothers. Why would that be my grandmother? And why is that appropriate to say in a workplace, anywhere? You don't know if my grandmother's dead, anything. I just couldn't believe that they would be talking to me like this. It was just insane. As if that wasn't enough, they tried to give me more problems while I was in Atlanta, but I just shook it off. So that next week, when we got back from the trip on Monday, I was working with the beauty advisors. I worked very close. That was the only safe space I had there, were the beauty advisors. Those were the Black women that were in the hallways, just testing out the products every day. That was my safe space. So as much as I could, I would just go and sit with them and try to do as much content as I could, because I felt uncomfortable in that marketing room because no one was talking in English. No one was speaking to me. I just felt, left out. So why not try to be around, people that will actually speak to me or even speak English? So I'm sitting with them, and my supervisor, he comes over to the table. He's like, Samaya, you spent $14 on food. I need the receipt now. I responded. I'm like, I'm sorry, because I did not know what he was talking about. And he's like, why do you have such an attitude? He's literally yelling in front of the beauty advisors and at me, in my face, why do you have such an attitude? And I'm like, all I said was, I'm sorry, I don't know what you're talking about. When did I spend $14 on food and drinks? Please let me know. So at that point, you know how when someone is ready to say something else, but they're just trying to hold their tongue? That's what he's doing. And I was like, I just genuinely don't know what you're talking about. He throws the receipt at me and it says, well, ask the head of marketing. The light went off, but we still going. So I go to the person that he told me to go to, which was originally my first supervisor when I first came to Ebin, New York. And I'm asking him, I'm like, all the expenses, receipts, and everything you have, I gave everything to you. I'm not sure why this person is coming at me like this, but please just help me figure this out right now. It's oh, well, I don't have the receipt for that date, it's that, the third. So I'm just well, let's go through it together. We go through it, and he finds that same receipt for $14. So I go back to the first supervisor that came to me and was coming crazy at me. And I'm like, here, he had the receipt. And he didn't look not one bit at me. He didn't look at me. He didn't apologize for how he was speaking to me or anything. Not even the other supervisor that said that he didn't have the receipt. No one apologized. And I was just like, okay. I took it to the chin. You would think that's it for the day, right? No, it's not. An hour or two later, this supervisor decides to have a meeting with me. The same one I was just talking about, the receipt and all of that. Go in the hallway and have a meeting with me. I just want to let you guys know, the way that the office is set up is very little. Everything is glass doors. So you can hear, you can see everything that's going on, even in the hallway. We're sitting in a hallway. He has this whole paper that he done wrote out with dates and everything. It says, correct me if I'm wrong. On these dates, you didn't post anything. On these dates, you posted. Da, da, da. And I'm like, are you serious right now? Are you serious right now? He said, correct me if I'm wrong. You're supposed to post on Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok every day. And I was like, you're wrong. He said, how am I wrong? No, I'm not. He's very defensive. I'm like, I'm supposed to only be posting on TikTok 4 times a week right now. He disregarded everything I said. He did not care anything that came in my mouth. He tried to call 2 of the ladies that's giving the company over or whatever. And they're both saying the same thing that I'm saying. They're agreeing to everything that I'm saying. So now he's very angry, and it gets to the point where he hangs up on the people that he was trying to, I guess, get to agree with him with. And starts going off on me like, well, how much content do you make? This, that. And I'm showing him like, I just don't understand though. Once again, we have this whole Asana sheet. I've been having presentations. I've been showing them exactly what I've been doing every single day, on the hour, on the dot, whatever they needed. So why are they still giving me a hard time? I don't know. But let's listen to the rest of what he said to me. He basically said, I don't think you're doing anything. And the person that was before you is better than you. So now I'm just like, excuse me. He's yelling this, by the way. He's not speaking calm about anything. He was very rude about it. He's like, I don't think you're doing anything. And at this point, we're going back and forth because I feel very disrespected. I'm literally showing him all my work, telling him what I do all the time. And this is what you say to me? That's very rude. So someone had ended up running out in the hallway and stopping him from yelling in my face. And I just walked away and started crying. Then they moved me to another supervisor. Now this supervisor is completely new. It's a woman, a Korean woman. She was new. She was telling me herself she didn't know nothing about marketing like that. She was telling me she didn't know nothing about the brands. That's fine. You could come in and do your research or whatever. But the way she was talking, she talked to me any kind of way to the point where I would have my headphones in or like sitting there doing graphics and stuff like that. She would say, yo, this is how she spoke to me. Yo, like I was just a random black girl out on the streets. Why are you talking to me like that? You don't speak to no one else in the office like that, but you going like this in my face saying, yo, trying to get my attention. This is a corporate job? Like, I'm just confused. So at that moment, I got up and I noticed the CEO was in the lunchroom. I go to the lunchroom. I said, as you know, I have been having problems with the marketing team like crazy. Right now, I'm just letting you know what just happened. This new supervisor, she's talking to me crazy. She's snapping her fingers in my face. She's saying, yo, just trying to get my attention. I don't know why, but I don't like it. No one else is being treated like this. I told him exactly what I'm saying to you guys right now. I told him that. He's just looking at me like, I hear you. One ear out the other, honestly. Literally the next day, I got written up. Or warning for insubordination or something like that because I went to the CEO instead of going to another person and telling them the situation that happened. Please let me know how crazy that is. I'm getting penalized for letting the higher ups know what's going on because no one else is being able to fix the problems, the communication skills, everything that's going on right now. How does that work? It got worse from there. I had to take a mental health leave in December. At that point, I didn't even want to go back. I was crying to my mother saying, like, I just feel uncomfortable. They don't like me there. They treat me horrible. Everything. So why would I go back? And I regretted it. So the same day. No one welcomed me back. No one said hello to me when I walked in. And I said good morning to everyone. I say good morning. No one says anything. They just look at me, roll their eyes or go on their phones. It was just a complete living nightmare. Mind you, I didn't do anything but do my job there, guys. I have a Korean coworker that even texted me and said, I don't know why they're so racist to you. If they don't like you, they might as well just fire you. I don't know why they still have you here suffering. What really put the icing on the cake, you guys, is when the CEO, he called, well, we have these meetings for design and the whole company goes to these meetings. It was time for the marketing team to go inside. Everyone else is there. So I'm going inside and he stops the meeting. The CEO completely stops the meeting because there was someone on a screen talking. He stops the meeting and he says, Samaya, and points to the door. He says something really fast like, you don't need to be in here. He points to the door. I'm very confused. Everyone's looking at me like, huh? That's what he did though. He kicked me out and I just went back to my desk because I was very confused. I'm like, okay, well, I guess I'll just sit here. A couple hours go by and I seen that he was out in a hallway on his phone, like just walking. I went up to him and I asked him, I said, hey, can we talk? He said, no. So I'm like, I'm pushed back. I'm like, why? I asked him why. He said, I don't need to speak to you, man. That's how he said it. I don't need to speak to you, man. What? The CEO of Ebin New York is talking to me like this, guys. Guess he felt some type of way about me complaining to HR and HR going back to him and telling him these things, but that's how he reacted. The HR person wasn't there that day, so the next day, I decided that was going to be my last day. What I mean by that is, if nothing was going to change right then and there, if they're not going to give me the respect that I deserved from day one, I wasn't going to do any work until I speak to HR once again, and we're going to get something done. So I had the meeting, we get inside, and they're like, we don't want to talk about anything that, the CEO has done to you, has said to you, anything like that. We're just going to terminate you. Terminate me for what? Oh, because your KPI performance I've never seen no KPI performance. Isn't that a wrongful termination? If you guys are just now trying to fire me over something like this, when I've been complaining about this company this whole time, KPI performance, I got all my work done all the time. They just try to put together any little thing, guys. How could a company target nothing but African Americans, women of color, and things like that, and treat the only Black woman that you have in that corporate like that?
When I learned about Samaya's story on TikTok, I was livid. I was infuriated because I have been supporting this company for years. It all started with the edge control. That's when I started buying the products, and then it trickled down to the Wanderlace bond. I bought the yellow bottle, the red bottle, and then I ended up settling on the black bottle because it was my favorite. But to hear this woman's story, I am so disappointed, but I'm not shocked, because once again, a company is being exposed for how they really feel about Black people and how they really feel about Black women. So I will be removing my support from this company. I have to support all of my sisters, because come to find out, when it comes to this situation, there are other Black women that have a similar experience to Samaya. Ebin New York might as well go ahead and put them products on clearance rack, clearance sale, girl, because ain't nobody gonna be buying them products. I'ma walk in the beauty supply store, I'ma see it on the shelf, and I'ma automatically get irritated and get an attitude just looking at the product on the shelf. So they might as well go ahead and put it on the clearance rack, because ain't nobody gonna be buying that. I can tell you that now. Let's go ahead and get into this other Black woman's story regarding her mistreatment with Ebin New York. And the interesting thing about this other woman's story is that it connects with Samaya's story. How does it connect? Well, Imani, which is the other Black woman that's going to come on and tell her story, she was fired. She was let go, similar to how Samaya was fired, and Samaya was her replacement.
Y'all, she is not lying. I was very quiet on this topic for months. I think it's been about June, August, September, October, November. I don't know. It's probably been like a year since I left Ebin, New York. But I worked with that company for 9 months. I went in September of 2022, and I ended up leaving I got fired, wrongfully fired, June of 2023. So I started out there as a beauty advisor, and the role was pretty much just to come in, test products, see what products work. We also did some marketing where we would look at some of the packaging to say okay, this will work, this won't work. Colors, font, and stuff like that on the packaging. That's a lot of stuff that we would do. And every day, our day-to-day thing was just to sit there and test products, right? So I came in, it was part-time. We were contracted, so you don't have any benefits or anything like that. You just come in, do your work, and leave pretty much. So when I got there for my interview process, I seen also, I don't know if I seen it on LinkedIn or Indeed, but I seen the job opening. I applied, I came, and pretty much when I walked in, it was giving jump scare because there was nothing but a bunch of Korean people there. So not that it's an issue with working with Korean people, because, we work with everybody. But I was I don't know, for some reason, I always thought that Ebin was a Black-owned company. So when I walked in, you can imagine, you walking in and literally everyone is Korean. So I immediately kind of was like, something's a little off here. So I interviewed, they called me back, and they were like, yeah, we want you to start immediately. I met with the HR lady that she's also talking about, and she has a big role in this story. So yeah, HR lady, that's what we're gonna call her. But yeah, so we came in, I did my paperwork and everything, and the first day, my first day of working, I went to a show actually. So they were like, "Hey, we're going to New York." Mind you, I live in New York and they're in Jersey, so I travel all the way to Jersey just for them to tell me that we're going all the way back to New York, for me to go all the way back to Jersey and then go back to New York. Stupid. So I end up going to this show the first day. If you go back and look at my content, like you can see, like I was at shows and all types of stuff. So you know that's the proof right there. But if you need any more proof, I got my receipts. So yeah, we went to the show, and then the next day we came in, and the first thing they did was they came up to me and they gave me like a pen and a paper, and they were like, "Hey, we need you to write down like the description of the product, like how to use it, blah blah blah." And I'm like, well, this is my third day out here. I don't know. But nah, let me be serious. So I'm like, what product are you talking about? Because I was only familiar with the wig spray, the lace adhesive spray, the edge control. I didn't even know if they sold makeup, nails, all that stuff, lashes, until I got to the actual store. I mean, the actual, like location. And I seen it. And I'm like, oh, shoot, I didn't even know y'all sold all this stuff. Sorry, I had a burp. So then I am like, how am I supposed to write the description to something that I don't even know? Like, and they're like, oh, just write anything because you have a degree in like marketing and PR. So like, we know you can do it. Just do it. So now I'm sitting here like, but I've been hired as a beauty advisor. Now, keep in mind, they always kept saying, you have a degree, you have a degree, you have a degree. So they knew I can do it. So pretty much what ends up happening is we're going to fast forward a little bit where I meet the other Black young ladies, because the only Black people when I was there, in my experience, that was in the office were the beauty advisors. There were no other Black women or men in like marketing, and every other place was occupied by a Korean individual, right? So that already was kind of like fishy to me, because I'm like, well, if you know I know how to do marketing, put me in marketing and give me a position in marketing. Like, why? It seems like they just try to keep you very low at this beauty advisor state. So then as time goes on, they began to come to me, and they're like, hey, so what do you like? Like they just asked me questions. What do you use outside of Ebin products? Like, what do you like? What do you think the industry is missing right now? So we're giving ideas, and we're like, do this, do that, do this, do that, do this, do that. And they're like, okay, cool. And they're just writing all our ideas down. And then they're now taking our ideas and they're developing them. And we're not getting paid for it. So I was like, okay, well, if y'all, me and it was another group of young ladies, we were like, no, we need to be getting paid for our ideas. So there was one lady that was there. I'm going to call her A. She put me on. A and M. Those are the other two ladies' names, A and M. M had been with the company since like almost day one. Like she'd been there since the longest. So she was putting me on. She was been telling me how like discriminatory they are when it comes to like lunches. So they would buy lunch for everybody every day, and you have the option of getting like a Korean lunch, or you have the option of like ordering off the menu that they give you. And she was telling me how they were not able to order lunch. Like they weren't in the group chat to submit their orders for lunch. So I'm like, y'all not about to be giving lunch to everybody in here, and then the Black girls can't get lunch. Like, so now we sitting at lunch and we just chilling, or we have to go out and buy lunch and come back while everything else is provided and paid for by everybody else. That's not fair. So I was able to get into the group chat, and I was then able to order my lunch and the girls' lunches. So what I would do is I would send it to them. I'm like, hey guys, this is the lunch for today. Everybody send me their orders, and I will submit it in by the deadline so that we can eat lunch. So that was one thing that they did exclude us. They had multiple meetings where we would all just be sitting in the office. They would all just get up, go to a meeting, and leave us there. No one would say anything. We would just sit there like, what's going on? Oh, we're having a meeting. Oh, the meetings was in Korean. Like they would not try to, and they try to say, oh, language barrier. And I'm like, I get it. Like if there's a language barrier, but y'all knew how to speak English. Like, cut it out. It was a lot of them who knew how to speak English. So I'm like, don't try to language barrier, because y'all were talking English the whole time. And then the minute, something will shift, or y'all was like talking about something that y'all didn't want us to know about, y'all would start talking in Korean. Let's get to the real tea. Let's clock the real tea. So yeah, They would pretty much take our ideas and they would say, we'll give you guys incentives. They offered us $100. They was like, if you have an original idea that we want to use and develop, we'll give you $100. Y'all are making millions of dollars. And you're telling me that you're going to take my original idea, formulate it, give me $100 and be like, yeah, thanks. Good job. I don't get no type of shares in the product being sold. You don't get no type of nothing. It's just a good job. Thanks. And then once you give them one idea and they find out that the CEO likes it, oh, then they come badgering you. We need more ideas. We need more ideas. We need more. I'm like, I don't, to the point where one day they had us sitting down. It was like, everybody has to submit 20 ideas. Like almost on like a weekly basis, they was making us submit our ideas and not paying us. So this is part 2 of my experience of working at Ebin New York. So in part 1, I discussed how they pretty much used us for our ideas, drained us dry for our ideas, and told us that they would give us an $100 incentive if we give them our original ideas for them to produce it and make millions and thousands of dollars off of our idea. And the kicker is they didn't even give us, they didn't even honor it. And they would not give us our money when we brought it up to say, hey, you guys said that you would pay us if we gave you these original ideas and we gave you these resources. And because my thing is, we were the only Black girls in the company. So the only idea or depiction that they had of Black women was us, if you get what I'm saying. So the way that we act, the way that we did certain things, because even when I would I'm not a person where if I'm upset, I stay very calm. You know, I know how to articulate myself and I speak, what I think is wrong in a very professional way. And I have emails still. And y'all, if I want to see the emails, let me know, because I'm telling you, I have all the receipts. I still have all of the notebooks that I wrote all my notes in, my original ideas in. I still have all of that. All of it. So this is not alleged. This is real. There's 2 products that they just developed that just went live on their website. That was my original idea that the Lord had put in my mind. And I was like, yeah, this is a good idea. And I was a fool to share that idea with them. Because you know what they did? They developed it. And you know who's getting money? They are. I'm not getting no money out of that. And one of the ideas is I'm trying not to get frustrated, y'all. But yeah, they stole my original ideas and they produced it. So outside of that, I also went on multiple brand trips with the brand, and they were very weird when we went on brand trips. We went to New Orleans. It was 4 of us, of the beauty advisors that were Black, that we went. And on the brand trip, they were being very weird to us. We went to the restaurant and they were like, oh, you guys have to Uber there and find your way back to the hotel type of thing, which was very weird because everybody else was Ubering, yes, but they all had company cards. So they all were using the company cards to Uber back and forth. But when it came to us, they was like, no, you guys use your own money and then we'll pay you back. We'll reimburse you. Keep that in mind. So at the end of dinner, first of all, let's backtrack real quick. We in the middle of New Orleans. That was my first time ever going to New Orleans. I want some gumbo. I want some jambalaya. I want the things. I want a seafood boil. I want to eat. Right? They were like, so the first night we got there, we were excited. We were like, yeah, let's go. I was talking to my roommate that was there. And we were like, yeah, let's go to this restaurant. Let's find some good restaurants to go to Bourbon Street. We were told by one of the girls who was supposed to be over us or whatever. She was like, yeah, because she's been there longer. So she was like, yeah, oh, did my mic die? I think it did, y'all. Did it die? I hope y'all can still hear me. Yeah, I think it died. Hold on, y'all. So the girl that was supposed to be I don't want to say she was our manager, but she was you know how you have cashiers and you have a lead cashier? Let's say she was like that. She's a lead cashier. So she was like, oh, you guys can't do whatever y'all want to do. Mind you, we're not on company time because we already did what we needed to do. We're off. She was like, no, you guys can't do what you need to do because we have to go to a company dinner, a welcome dinner. So I'm like, okay, where we going? They're like, oh, they decided on Korean barbecue. I'm like, I don't want Korean barbecue. We are in New Orleans and you talking about some Korean. And then the thing is, one of the girls that I was with, she had a dietary, she didn't eat pork or whatever. So she's like, no, I'm not really trying to go because they're I don't want that. We ain't want that. And we were forced to go. Then when we get there, they was like, oh yeah, all of the beauty advisors, y'all get together and y'all call your own Uber. And they left us outside the restaurant. Left us. I went to the bathroom, came back, and all it was just the beauty advisor standing outside. And they all turned to look at me and they was like, oh, Imani, you're the only one with Uber and Lyft. Can you Uber us back to the hotel? Huh? And then they're like, oh, no, it's okay. Just save the screenshots and we'll reimburse you. I'm like, why is this not the thing for everybody else? Y'all using company cards to everybody else, but with us, we got to pay out of our own pocket and then y'all reimbursing us. Then at the New Orleans show, y'all, it's so much. I could do a whole video just on that show. At that show, that's when I started to realize that something was very off. First of all, they lied to us about the pay. They told us they were going to pay us a certain amount, which was different from our hourly amount because we were doing something way different. We were interacting with hundreds and thousands of people. We were doing live demos, which we weren't supposed to be doing. They're supposed to hire someone else to do it. And then at the last minute said that they didn't hire them, so they wanted us to do live demos, and they did not want to pay us to do live demonstrations. And we had to do 2. I did 2 live installs on how to, use Ebin products and, blah, blah, blah. Did the whole demo. And the girls was going to buy it. Like, they were standing there watching, and then they were going to buy the products because that's just how it works. And y'all telling me that y'all don't think we deserve compensation? Mind you, I have a background of doing hair, of doing makeup, and you're telling me that my knowledge of what I know is not worth you paying me. And then it was a girl that worked with me who was also, she's worked with celebrities, and she's she does bridal makeup, she does hair and everything. And she's on there. She's like, bro, I worked for magazines, and y'all trying to tell me that y'all not gonna pay me for the demos? Like, this is insane. So we agreed on a certain amount, and this is why I would say, like, I was very naive at the time, and I was just very excited. Like, I was like, oh, this is my first brand trip, but you have to be very careful with these people because these people really be playing games. So we agreed on a certain amount. It was not in writing, it was like a verbal agreement. We were supposed to sign contracts before we went to New Orleans, but they purposely did not give us our contracts. And when we came back, there still never was a contract. They kept saying, we're revising it. It was never a contract, y'all. When we got back and when we seen how much we were getting paid, they were trying to pay us a regular hourly rate as a beauty advisor. What? After we were doing demos, talking to all these people, I'm making content. Mind you, we were also working with another company that they had acquired. And so I'm running between the Ebin booth and the other people's booth. So I'm working for both booths. Then at one time, I had to be the MC because the MC didn't come for the 3rd day. So I had to be an MC. I had to be a sales associate. And you're telling me that you're going to pay me the same rate that I've been paying by sitting at the desk and testing products? Absolutely not. So I was like, nah, y'all need to pay me the rest of my money. So we was going back and forth with the lady from HR because she was supposed to be like the person who was like the bridge between the blacks and the Koreans. Let's just be very honest. That's what it was. Because anytime I have a manager of research of R&D, right? And I would go up to her and talk to her like, hey, I just had a question about this. I had a question about that. And they would be like, don't talk to her. Like, you can't talk to her. I'm like, why can't I talk to her? No, if you have any questions, you got to go to HR lady, or you have to go to the lady that they were trying to call the lead cashier. Mind you, she was never there. And she would always come to me and ask me what was happening for the day because she was never there. So now I'm like, there's no representation for black people at that company. Like, they just flat out blackfishing. They want you to think it's a black owned company. They want to use blackface. They want to, because even when we were sitting here at these events, the black girls was front and center, and all the people who were Korean, they were either restocking in the back or they were just checking you out. But the black women was front and center. The last part, I was just telling you guys how pretty much our experience with going to the shows where they pretty much put all the black people at the front and the Koreans in the back because they want to make this illusion of, oh, black people, we're doing all this stuff for black people. And it's creating an illusion of like they're black owned. So my role was a beauty advisor. And once they started to see that I knew how to make content, if you guys ever been on the Ebin New York page, I have done countless videos for them that did very good, very, very good numbers by the grace of God. And I was like constantly proving to them like, okay, I can be a part of the marketing team. So what they did was they sat down with me and they're like, hey, Imani, like your videos are doing good. We like your content ideas. So what we want to do is we want to offer you this marketing position, but they like the CEO is in Korea. So he's not coming back for a month. So what we want you to do is we want you to work for a month for free doing this marketing, which is I had to do the marketing in my job as a beauty advisor. And they're like, we want you to do both. And pretty much we want to see like, we want to see the growth in the page. And then from there, the CEO can come back and decide if he wants to put you in that department. Again, I was very naive and I was just like, yeah, sure. Cause at the end of the day, I wanted to make content. Like that was what I wanted to do. I wanted to make content. I still want to make content. That's what I want to do. So, I'm like, yeah, sure. So I worked there Monday through Thursday. I was part-time, and I was contracted. So I didn't have no benefits and nothing like that. Like, so what they did was they split up my time to where Monday and Wednesday, I was working as a beauty advisor in my contracted role. And then Tuesdays and Thursdays, I was working with the marketing team. So I was in the back making content. Mind you, they lied to me because they're like, oh yeah, when you're making this content, we're like building a studio in the back. I'm not saying a studio had to magically appear overnight, but could a girl get a ring light? Something? Like, they were lying to me saying, oh yeah, we have cameras back there that you can use to make the content, blah, blah, blah. So the first day that I was ready to make the content, there's no camera. I'm like, where's the camera? We don't have no camera. The girls is like, what are you talking about? So I'm like, what? So now they're like, oh yeah, you got to make the content, but I have my own camera. I have a Sony ZV-1. Yeah, you got to make the content on your own camera. I had to use my own SD cards. I had to use my own lighting. So now imagine me lugging this stuff from New York to Jersey. And mind you, at the time I'm not driving. So I'm getting on the train and I'm getting on the New Jersey bus to go over there, and I'm lugging all this stuff with me. God forbid if my camera would have fell broke back there. They would have been like, wow, that's tragic. Like, so now I'm sitting here recording all of it on my own camera. I'm buying more supplies at this point too, because now I had to buy more SD cards, buy more lighting equipment. They're not supplying me with any of this stuff. And then I'm editing these videos on my phone, and they give me this deadline, like, okay, and the video has to be done by like the same day. So they wanted me to come into work, they wanted me to come to work, record the video, edit the video, and submit it to them all in the same day. Now, I know that y'all think that content creation is that easy, but it really is not. A 30-second video, y'all, could take a whole day of production. Like, it's not just 1, 2, 3. No, like, it's a whole day of production. So I'm like, how do y'all expect me to get these videos pumping out so fast? Like, it's just not realistic. You know what I'm saying? It's just wasn't realistic. So, and then again, I'm still on a beauty advisor salary. Now, they had a content creation position that started out at $25. So now I'm like, if y'all want me to do content creation, put me into content creation. Stop having me work these 2 jobs for the pay of 1. Like, it's insane. So I finally, I just got tired, and I was just like, I'm not doing this no more. And I just completely stopped making content. Now, at this point, there were new girls that had came into the rotation, because it's just always rotating. Like, people are always getting fired for like reasons down to the point like, oh, we don't like her. We don't like the way she looks. We don't like the way she dressed. Like, just crazy, like wrongfully firing people. So they pretty much was like, we need you to make content, Imani. And I was like, nah, I'm not making content no more. Y'all not paying me for the content. It's been a month and a half. Y'all said that if y'all seen the growth, which there was growth, that y'all would pay me, and y'all have not. So therefore, I'm going back to my original position. So then there was another contract that was brought to my attention. They're like, oh, we want to give you a promotion. So I'm like, okay, what's the promotion? They're like, we want to put you in marketing. So I'm like, okay, finally, like, y'all finally seeing the work that I'm putting in, and the videos are doing really good. Me and the other girl that I was working with, like, she would record the videos sometimes for me and stuff like that. Like, y'all see that it's getting up there. Baby, they was like, yeah, so what we want to do is we want to keep you on the same schedule, give you an extra day. You're still part-time. So I wasn't even full-time, still part-time. and they were like, we want you to, what they say? They was like, we want you to pretty much, I'm sorry, y'all, because I'm thinking, hold on, give me a second. Every meeting that I had with these people, one meeting, they were like, we want you to be a content creator. I had 3 meetings with them. One was, we want you to be a content creator, blah, blah. So I'm like, okay, where's the contract for this so that I can look over it, read what the duties are, because when you apply for a job, they give you the job description. So I'm like, give me the job description and everything of what it is, then I can agree to it or not. And the thing that was also getting me is that they kept trying to rush me, like, oh, we need you to hurry up and do it by this date. And I'm like, you can't bring me a position and then just say like, yeah, we need an answer by like the end of the day. No, that's not how it works. Not when I have no paperwork especially now that I know that y'all operate where y'all sit here and y'all sell people dreams and y'all lie to people in interviews, a lot of people to their face, and then turn around and they say, oh, but there's no writing for that. There's no contract for that. Dude, I don't know where you got that from. I don't know who. And everyone always asks, oh, I don't know who told you that. Everyone's clueless after that. So I'm like, yeah, give me the contract and the job description and I'll look it over and, blah, blah, blah. So first meeting, content creator. The second meeting, they were like, yeah, we want you to work with marketing. So I'm like, okay, what would I be doing? They were like, oh, you don't have to make content. You'll be like working with influencers, finding people to do PR packages for pretty much working with marketing, helping with photo shoots and things like that. So I'm like, so a marketing assistant, that's what y'all want me to do. Yeah, we want you to do that. So we're from content creator to marketing assistant, right? Then I had my last and final meeting with them where they finally was like, yeah, this is what we want you to do. They gave me like this scrapped up contract where pretty much the contract was for me to be a content creator, but they were trying to put me in a box as of like, oh, you can't work with no other companies. Excuse me? And y'all trying to pay me part-time $20 out. It just yeah, y'all see where I'm going with that. Because no, you playing with me at this way. So I'm like, absolutely not. Like, yeah, I want to work with, if a brand reaches out to me and they say, hey, Imani, we want you to work, blah, blah, blah. I want to be able to say, yeah, on a $20 an hour, if y'all wanted an exclusive contract with me, that's like, we talking in the thousands. Like, come on, you cannot put somebody in a box and then just say like, no, we want to pay you. We want to lowball you, and we don't want you to work with anybody else. But yeah. So I denied. The HR lady, she told me, she said, well, Imani, don't worry about it. Like, and mind you, she's singing my praises. She's like, yeah, Imani's really good. She's this, she's this. She's been doing this for the company. She's been doing this. She's been doing this. She's been doing it. To the point where one of the girls also calling me the face of the company. And I was like, please don't call me the face of the company because y'all not paying me face of the company coins. So she's like, well, if you don't want to do this position, like, don't worry about it, Imani. You could just stay in your beauty advisor position and do the job that you've been doing. So I said, yeah, I sent the email and I thank God that I did because I have all these emails. So again, if you want me to post it, I'll post it. But I, professionally was like, no, thank you. I respectfully declined. I would like to stay in my position. 2 days later, they fired me. They sent me a termination email. So now I'm like, okay, can I know the grounds of what am I being terminated? Oh no, that's to the discretion of the company. How do you go from getting a promotion from someone singing your praises to now I'm magically fired? Now I'm fired. How? Okay, y'all. So this is gonna be part 4, and then after this, I'm just gonna reply to comments if I have any. But yeah, so they fired me. And I'm just like, okay, I'm just keeping it very like, whatever. It is what it is. Like, I knew it was coming because the other girls who worked with me, I was telling them, now I'm telling my own story, but the other girls who worked with me, they would ask them, like, Ebin would ask, like, oh, we want you guys to be on set for this photo shoot. They try to make it all glitz and glamour and like, yeah, you guys gonna get exposure. They tell me the same thing with content creation. You're gonna get the exposure. We're gonna tag you, babe. They did not tag me. It was people who knew me that was underneath them comments like, oh, Imani, look, this is Imani, blah, blah, blah. Like, they was not tagging me. Mind you, they had me running. Okay, yes, I missed this part. Y'all, as a beauty advisor, a part of my task when I was working both jobs and getting paid one salary, they had me running the TikTok page. They had me running the Instagram page. They had me running the YouTube page. So I was replying to people. I was liking people's photos when people were mentioning us, oh, you look so good, girl. Thanks, girl. Like, I was on there replying to people and doing all of the things. Now, this is before they actually hired another Korean girl. They hired her to do what I was already doing. And then tried to say, oh yeah, you work with her, like you could be her assistant type thing. No. Now, it's no shade to the Korean girl because, we ain't got no beef. Like, we did good work together. Like, I don't have no problems with her. But it was just how shady and shiesty that was, that y'all had me doing her job and then came in and hired her, gave her the pay, and just tried to say, oh yeah, well, she's going to run it, but we're just going to take all your ideas, take all your content. Like, I don't like that. So, yeah, after they fired me, I was like, okay, well, because they fired me on a Friday and I don't work on Fridays. So I'm like, well, thank you for your time. I'm going to come up there on Monday and get my belongings, because this is another thing. How are you a beauty company that's geared at Black women, and they didn't have anything for us to work with? So we're testing products and stuff, and they're like, how do you like this? How do you like that? How you like? And we're like, yo, first of all, we need time to actually see if the product is working. That's the first thing. For two, I'm like, we don't have any of the necessary things that we need to test these things out. We didn't have hot combs. How you a beauty company? We didn't have no hot combs. We didn't have no combs. We didn't have no blow dry. Bro, none of that stuff. I had to sit down. This is the only thing that was like the good thing that came out of me working with marketing. I then became like I want to say like a bridge between the beauty advisors and marketing, and it kind of made us closer, because at the time it was like the whole company, everybody is sectioned off, like even in your own little, like, so even when we would go places, it would be like, oh, R&D and beauty advisors stay together, marketing stay together, like it's very cliquey, like it's weird, like they just put people in like their own little cubicles and just be like, yeah, you stick with these people. It's gonna very much stick with the status quo. But yeah, so I became like a bridge to beauty advisors and marketing. So we began to give marketing ideas like, hey, we want you to do this, or this, Black History. Bro, it was Black History Month, and they was not even gonna do nothing for Black History Month. I had to tell them, I'm like, how y'all aiming your company toward Black people, and y'all not even trying to do nothing for Black History Month? So they're like, oh, well, what do you guys think that we should do? What should we do? Like, it's just so dumb. So we ended up making a video, which probably still up on a page, which you're going to see me in it. But it was all the beauty advisors that we spoke about, like how Black women contributed to the beauty industry. But they didn't even want to do that. Like, that's why I'm like, you cannot aim your company toward Black people and not be educated. Like, they were just not educated. Like, they just weren't. And I get it, because like half of them just came straight from Korea, but it's still like, if you're gonna aim it toward these people, us as Black people, at least know a little bit about us. Is that the only thing they knew was that they wanted our coins. That's the only thing that they knew. So yeah, backtrack. I was like, yeah, I'm gonna come up there on Monday and get my stuff. So the HR lady who sent me the letter to say like, yes, she firing me, she was like, yeah, no, you not coming up here. Like, we'll tell you when you could come up here to get your stuff. Because again, we didn't have any hot tools. We didn't have none of that stuff. I was bringing that stuff from my house and leaving it at the job, because I was like, we need this. Like, so I'm like, no. You're not going to tell me when I can come pick up my stuff. Like, I'm coming to pick up my stuff. Like, you cannot fire somebody, and then when I'm saying I'm coming to retrieve my stuff, you tell me, no, we'll let you know when you can come get your... Ma'am, it doesn't work like that, because I work in the beauty industry. So if I have my makeup and my hair stuff there at your company, I need my stuff so I can continue to make bread. Like, you cannot try to hold my stuff hostage. Then what they also did was they would take my stuff, my hot tools that I paid, that was out of my own money, and put it in the R&D room, which is a room where they pretty much have a whole bunch of other supplies that we use. So I'm like, now y'all taking my stuff and putting it in with your stuff. Like, no, I need my stuff back. I'm so sorry. So, yeah, I call my daddy and I'm like, Daddy, I need you to drive me up to Jersey so I can go there and get my stuff. And then they were telling me, like, we got to turn in your ID. And I'm like, so how am I going to turn in my ID if I can't come up there? That's the first thing. The second thing, I didn't even have an ID, because that's another thing that they excluded us in. They didn't feel like we needed IDs to get access into the building. So another of the beauty advisors had to fight just for us to get access into the building, so that we wouldn't be standing outside knocking on the door looking like kids like, "Daddy, mommy, let me in the door." Like we didn't even have access into the building at that point. Like they were really trying to exclude us. So I walk in very calmly, like I was not, it wasn't no beef or nothing. I walked in and I'm like, I just went straight to get my stuff from where my desk was. Oh, another thing is we had all designated desks. And what they did was they pushed us out one by one from the office and made us all sit in like this common area. And that's what we had to work at. Because whenever they hired a new Korean person, they would kick us out of our desk and give it to the Korean person. So now all the black girls was just sitting in the middle of the I would call it like a lobby, but it was just like a meeting area that was just out in the open. We would just all sit there because they took away all of our desks. And we had to like write up reports every day or whatever on like what we did and all this other stuff and like the things that we reviewed. And we were like, how are we going to do that if we no longer have desks and computers to do that? Like it did not make any sense. Like they just disrespected us. They treated us like we were disposable. Anytime where, like I said, another Korean person was coming in, they'd be like, yeah, you got to give up your seat because there's a Korean person coming in and like they got a job here, so you got to go. Like go sit in the hallway. That's literally where they get, sit in the hallway. But yeah, so I went up there, I got my belongings, and I was just telling them, I'm like, I don't want y'all to publish any of the ideas that I gave y'all. Like, no. And one of the guys is there, let's call him D. He was like, oh, well, no, you signed a contract to say that we could keep it. And I said, where is it? Email it over to me. Where is it? Oh, no, because you're lying. And what they try to do is they try to intimidate you and say like, oh, we got lawyers. So we like, if you try this, we going to do this. Babes, it's not giving. No. And then the icing on the cake is the content that I made for them. It's going to be my last point that I make, y'all. The content that I made for them, I told them, I emailed them, I said, take my videos down off of your page, off of your Instagram, off of your reels on YouTube, off of your TikTok. Take my videos down. You know what they try to say to me? No, that's our... They said that's Ebin's content. I said, how's that Ebin's content when it was recorded on my camera and it was edited by me on my SD card? I'm like, that is not your content. Take myself down. They was trying to argue me down. I said, well, if y'all want to keep it up there, I have a rate. And I sent them my rate and I said, this is how much I charge to make videos, shorts, blah, 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 for companies. They was like, yeah, we'll give you, I think he said we give you $200. It had to be like 13 plus videos that they had of me. And all these videos were doing good, like in the hundreds of thousands. And I'm like, and you try to give me $200 for all of this? No. I was like, delete my videos expeditiously. The videos is deleted. I think they got like one more video of me up there. But I was just like, I'm gonna leave it in the Lord's hands. But yeah, guys, don't go work at Ebin. I have not bought an Ebin product since then. All the stuff that I have from them, I just gave it away. I don't like Ebin. No. Don't go to Ebin, y'all. Don't use Ebin stuff. I'm telling you. And one last thing that I learned from this experience is make sure that you get everything in writing and make sure that you keep your receipts. Like, really, don't take these people's word for like, oh, well, because the HR lady comes off very nice and, oh, mamita, da, da, da. And she's not. So just make sure you have everything in writing. And because the same person that she will tell you that they're going to pay you, she'll then turn around and say, nobody told you that. So just be very careful, guys.
Hey, you guys, I just wanted to come up here and thank all of you so much for your support. I see all the comments. I see all the DMs. I'm seeing everything. I appreciate y'all so much. I'm very glad that other people are now speaking up about their experiences that they had with the company, and we'll just take it from there. As far as all the questions you guys have, I will be answering some of them. I've been seeing a lot of advice that you guys are giving me. Thank you so much. Just know that I am taking it, and I have been trying to do certain things. So I just want you guys to know that. I've been seeing a lot of comments saying, so what am I doing now? I'm doing freelance work, doing UGC modeling. I really love modeling and content creation and things like that. So I'm just doing a lot of freelance right now. So I'm open to work with the right companies. I'm open to doing partnerships and stuff like that. But like I said, thank you guys so much for the support. I appreciate it so much. And please check out the beauty advisors stories that they've been making on TikTok. I can try to link it. I think so. People that work for the company that called me, I've never met them before, and they were telling me their story. So it's just a big thing right now. And I'm just glad that I spoke out, guys. Like, I feel like I'm making a difference. And it starts with us speaking out about things and supporting one another. We have to support each other. We have to. So I love you guys. I will continue to update you, and be blessed. Happy Sunday. Mwah.
So I will be supporting both of these ladies, Samaya and Imani, on their journey to getting justice regarding the mistreatment that they experienced with working with Ebin New York. And I could relate to their experience. Honestly, when I was working with Chinese hair companies, I experienced similar situations. I felt used and I felt like I was being taken advantage of as a Black woman. I also felt like I was being lowballed, and I just got tired of fighting with these Chinese brands, these hair companies that just did not want to pay me what I felt I was worth, considering my popularity, my influence was making them a lot of money. And at some point you do have to take a stance, but I have to be honest with you, when I was doing that type of content, I was broke. I needed the money, and you think because you're naive, you're young, you think that it's going to lead to more opportunities, bigger opportunities. And to be honest, it just leads to you being taken advantage of more and more, and it leads to you feeling used and not really feeling seen and heard as a Black woman, and not even being acknowledged on the impact that you're making within the beauty community, which is why I have completely stopped creating beauty content, because I just felt like my impact didn't matter. So I just stopped creating content. I stopped accepting sponsorship offers on my platform for this very reason. So I'm not here to really tell a Black woman what to do, because honestly, when I was making those videos, I was feeding myself, I was supporting myself, and it really did help me get by. So I'm not really here to tell Black women what to do, but we should be a little more transparent when it comes to these situations, because this is happening more than you think, and it's happening in many different ways, and it's happening across all industries, because we're not talking to each other. We're afraid to speak out because these are bigger brands, bigger corporations and things like that, and they have systems that are backing them, and then it's just us. So I'm going to be supporting these ladies by removing my support from Ebin New York, and I will be looking for an alternative brand that I can switch to, because I'm still going to be out here slaying. I mean, let's be for real. But I will be removing my support. So let me know your thoughts and your opinions when it comes to this situation. Please comment down below. Also, if you're new here, please subscribe, give the video a thumbs up, and I hope to see you in my next video.